Miss Media, brought to you by Bandwagon Radio and The On Channel, where entertainment news, current events, and much more is corresponded for the masses. Not only can you hear her, you can watch this beauty weekly on Mondays with Miss Media.
I'm your host, Celeste Mose, Miss Media. Before we jump into 2021 with excitement, let's take a moment and look at some of the moments in 2020, good, bad, and those in between. Season 2 has been a labor of love just getting here. I know a lot of you who were my viewers in season 1 recognize this list I got going on here. I've had some reconstructive work done to my smile, so bear with me as we get through season 2. I will be interviewing models, I'll be interviewing mothers, recording artists, and all in front of a live audience. 2021 live audience, are you guys excited to be here? So am I, so let's get into the show. Where's the real booty? When we think about investments, we immediately think about stock purchasing a home. But what about the investing into someone's body? Is that not a real investment? According to the ASPS, almost 18 million people participated in cosmetic surgery since 2018. And that is an essential thing to keep in mind, especially considering the difference between cosmetic surgery and plastic surgery. To understand the difference between the two, cosmetic surgery focuses on the enhancement and essentially the changing of your body, as opposed to plastic surgery, which is typically used when you've had some sort of trauma, car accidents, and the like. When we return, we'll talk to licensed realtor Liz Bondi and the intellectual investor Moon when we come back.
Celeste Mose, Miss Media, brought to you by Bandwagon Radio and The On Channel, where entertainment news, current events, and much more is corresponded for the masses. Not only can you hear her, you can watch this beauty weekly on Mondays with Miss Media.
Welcome back to season 2 of Mondays with Miss Media. I'm your host, lisping Celeste Mose, Miss Media, joined on the stage with Liz Bondi and Moom. How are you guys today?
Great.
Awesome. So I don't think I told you that I was going to blast you. I didn't tell you, but the way that Liz and I know each other, we worked together at Michael Kors. Shout out to the Jet Set Life. And how long ago was that? Maybe like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
about 6-7 years ago. And we became close because she used to enjoy my ridiculous stories that I would come in and tell her in between having to do any real work. I would tell her who I had gone on a date with and who I had thrown up in front of, just embarrassing, ridiculous stories, and that was how Liz and I bonded. Moom and I met on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a new kind of a social networking app, and it is not for daters. So if you are looking to expand your dating apps, that is not what it's for. Clubhouse is for the business-minded person, essentially. And so I met Moom on Clubhouse. I was actually done finding guests for season 2. I had gotten all my guests. I knew who I wanted to talk to. But I also knew that this was an episode that was really important to me. I wanted to kind of talk about the parallel between investing in what we would immediately consider as investments and your body. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
thanks for having me.
Liz, tell the viewers what parts of Charlotte you cater to. I know that you are a licensed realtor for Charlotte Metro and the greater metro area, but break that down into what markets, what neighborhoods, what zip codes.
Absolutely, which is a great question because a lot of realtors niche in really small. I grew up here in Charlotte, so that being my niche, I know every street like it's my own.
Oh.
I am licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina.
Okay.
As far as, working through investors and buying and selling houses, I really go as far out as a scope of about an hour from Central City.
Okay.
So zip codes that I know.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot to cover.
Mhm.
Zip codes that I know really, really well, and almost unusually well, is 28213, 28215, 28262,
Okay.
28269.
This university area.
University area.
Yep, and this is
You
like
got it.
high dollar university area, not
That's right.
necessarily like, let me not throw any shade. Okay, do you know 28227,
I sure do.
28208?
You got it.
We can rock, we can rock. Okay, so when you think about, having a scope of an hour, right? How many people on average are immediately aware of where they wanna live right away? So do they come to you and say, you know what, I'd like to be 28208, I wanna be uptown? And then maybe halfway through the process, they're looking at a different, are they usually clear on where they wanna live, or do you have to do some hand-holding?
A lot of hand holding, especially first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
I think we have an idea in our mind of places we've been around Charlotte that
Yeah.
we particularly like, maybe. And then
Doesn't mean you should live there though,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. I can drive 10 minutes to my favorite places and save $100,000. That's cool with me. Might be cool with you too, right?
Good point,
It just depends on what you're looking for and how close you have to be to those things.
really good point. Moon, what makes you an intellectual investor? And moreover, can someone be a dumb investor?
So, to answer your second question first, there's no such thing as a dumb investor, right? Because for me, time is the first thing that I invest in, time. And that should go for everybody. Time is something that you really can't get back.
At all.
At all, right? So, if I know nothing about, for instance, putting together my own show, but I know somebody who actually knows how to do something, somebody that's great at it, somebody like yourself, I can ask the questions on how to go about doing it. Now, somebody from the outside may look at it, I may fail the first time, and people may say, oh, he don't know what he's doing.
Mhm.
But you know that I was a novice. I came to you with the time that I had,
Yeah.
took some of your time, asked you a question, and I basically gave myself that much more of a chance to become that talk show host.
That's such a good point. I was with my mom this morning running last minute errands, and we essentially wasted an hour of time. And I'll be 36 next month, and I don't know if it's that I'm a parent now or that I'm getting older, but my time is so important to me now. The whole way home, what we wasted time doing really was more important than the hour that we wasted, but I was more bothered by the fact that an hour was gone. I was like, I could have done 1,000 things with that hour, so good point. Moon, what are 3 mistakes that investors make that kind of make their efforts somewhat counterproductive?
Okay, mistakes? Well, first mistake is not, and this is, of course, from something that I experienced my own, so I'm gonna tell you what I know,
Okay.
not off of what I think, right? First mistake would be not taking note of where you made a mistake at whatever you were doing, right? So
Okay.
if, for instance, you do something that doesn't work for you, you don't take note as to why that didn't work,
Okay.
you might do it again and keep doing it
So
again.
the first mistake is not noting the mistakes.
Right, not noting the mistake.
Okay.
You have to understand that, right?
Mhm.
The second one would be not asking for help. Not asking for help. That's a big issue that I had in the past. I would not ask for help. Sometimes I wouldn't even accept it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can do this myself.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes you gotta accept the help. You
Yeah.
have to, right? And then, each one teach one. So how I go about what I do, everything that I know, I don't mind giving that game and showing somebody else to do it. Why? Because as I continue to show it, it continues to stay on my mind, right? So you gotta note your mistakes. You gotta ask for it and accept the help.
Yeah.
And then you gotta help other people as well, like you have to. And
Yeah.
that's how you'll stay strong.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be able to help.
That's what you were doing on Clubhouse, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we'll talk to our investment experts, get them to weigh in on the parallel between investing in your body and investing in your mind when we come back.
Damn, squatching in here!
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
All up on the beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I talk like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, calling all the shots. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? That shit cray, yeah, yeah, yeah. All damn day like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, take another shot. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? Let me get the dawn, let me clean this shit. Copycat fools better mean this bitch. Internet thugs never made it on the streets. Place another bet, get a check Nike. I do tequila, Adidas, Olay. Viva la raza, that's Eddie the Great. Cinco de Mayo, don't think that I'm dead. La muerte is life. You're on the in bed, no way Jose, just call me the one. Number is uno, got lines with the puns. This ain't no joke, no Kevin at hard. I'm running no choke, come fly with Lamar. Who need the juice? I got the bars. Like Lee McQueen, man, I'm tucking the cars. Somewhat the show, who got the gas? Iris, I'm here, be back in a flash, bitch. The beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I talk like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, calling all the shots. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? That shit cray, yeah, yeah, yeah. All damn day like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, take another shot. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock?
She want the pickle yeah, yeah, yeah. She want dick, I'ma give her that. Evil Morty and I'm on attack. Yeah, I pop the perk, I'm with Best Smith. She get raunchy, I drink like Squanchy. Evil Python, no Monty. Won't bleed, more than monthly. Shot is a pure jump out. Fuck now, no more humping. Big gun, yeah, I'm on a hunt. Big classy and smoke it up. Biggie said we the chosen ones. Get paid, my Bob me. My shit, P.U. instinct. P.U. best, that's what my mama said. I'm an evil genius, Rick Sanchez.
On the beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I talk like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, calling all the shots. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? That shit cray, yeah, yeah, yeah. All damn day like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, take another shot. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? Tomato, tomato, there's blood on my throttle. You talking to killers, no hasta mañana. And I be the one in the shop, loading these rounds like they ready to pop. Hey, 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 bye, bye, bye. Cry little river in a suit and a tie. Got the hearse in reverse, about to take it for a spin. Rick and Morty want a deal, cause my songs won't end. What you gonna do, huh? Juice and Witty in the room, and we coming for you shooters. We ain't fucking with your rulers, bitch. Yeah, we taking over everything. Put the money on my baby and a wedding ring. No, we hail from the south side. Now we know, yeah, we raised and we baptized. Kick back, flapjack, syrup with a bop. Dwayne said flex, rock bottom with the drop. On the beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I talk like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, calling all the shots. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock? That shit cray, yeah, yeah, yeah. All damn day like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit him with the flex, take another shot. What you gonna do when you hit with a rock?
Welcome back to Mondays with Miss Media. I'm your host, Celeste Mosaic, Miss Media. While practices were closed, plastic surgeons continued to stay in touch with patients via virtual visits. They actually noted that they didn't see any kind of a decline in 2020, even with quarantine, in regards to patients having interest in both plastic and cosmetic surgery. According to the ASPS, 64% of respondents had seen an increase in their telemedicine consultants, and again, that had no decrease in the rise in COVID cases in 2019 and 2020. Toxins like tissue fillers, face fillers, butt injections, and injectables as a whole have skyrocketed since 2019, according to the ASPS. What do you guys think about that? In relation to the term investment, what do you guys think about that?
I have no problem with people investing into their bodies. On the contrary, you know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that.
Okay.
But it's about knowing what you're putting in your body, though.
So you don't mind a woman investing in the cosmetic enhancement of her physical body, just as long as she's knowledgeable about what so she's just not going and laying on some table and walking out. Okay.
Right.
Liz, what do you think?
I completely agree. I think at the end of the day, it's what makes you feel like your best person inside and out. And, you know, it costs a good amount of money, but if that is worth investing in yourself to do, I say look into it, gain the knowledge, and exactly like you said, know exactly what the process is going to look like for you and your body. If you've never gone under before, that's obviously something you need to look into.
Yeah.
What's that gonna look like for you? And then what is going into your body? And are there any lasting results for that?
Good questions. Liz, have you ever had, and this is gonna sound like a petty question, but have you ever had a customer pull up and maybe it was the first time that you guys were meeting in person and she jumps out the car and you're like, oh, she's had work done?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. And I think it depends on who you find yourself working with
Yeah.
the most. I would say not necessarily jumped out of the car, but if I'm doing a listing consult,
Mhm.
That's when I tend to see it a lot.
Okay.
Because I walk into the house and I immediately know.
Okay.
Immediately know, yes.
That makes sense. With butt injections and all injections, the likes, costing upwards of $5,000 to $7,000 a pop, I genuinely would like to know, where's the real booty? When we come back, we'll talk about a video vixen turned video model turned entrepreneur. She's one of the highest paid in the game. When we come back.
Celeste Mose, Miss Media, brought to you by Bandwagon Radio and The On Channel, where entertainment news, current events, and much more is corresponded for the masses. Not only can you hear her, you can watch this beauty weekly on Mondays with Miss Media.
Bernice Burgo, initially known as an Instagram model, has expanded her empire and her fame. She currently is at a raking 1.5 million net worth, and that was according to Google. She also has multiple million followers on Instagram and is making money off doing so. Fame, when you get popular and successful, people start digging up your old pictures, and so we've seen her before and after pictures. We know that Bernice Burgo has had cosmetic surgery. When you think about cosmetic surgery in relation to investing, backing up for a second, how many homes have you sold? I'm about to put you on blast, girl. How many
Yeah.
homes have you sold?
Let's see, so in total.
Before you answer that, I know 5 people that she's sold homes to. She has been a home selling. There was no, I don't know where these people got this money from between 2019 and 2020. All over her Facebook, she was closing deals with people that we worked with in the past, and it really warmed my heart to see that. How many homes have you sold?
So far, I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary of having my license, and I have personally sold 75. Yep. And being on
Wow.
teams and a part of a bigger picture,
Yeah.
it's been well over 150.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a team effort with those, and it's been a ride and a trip.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to help people do that, especially
So
this year.
you've changed 75 lives. Like, you've made a difference 75 times.
I have personally saved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, buying a home is the biggest purchase that they say you make, right?
absolutely.
That's what they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best investment you can make too.
That's what they say. Liz, between 2019 and 2020, with the social and the economic restraints that people have experienced, did you see any kind of dip in the home purchasing process? Did anybody have any less interest?
That's a great question. So what I saw, and pretty much the whole market of Charlotte saw, was with the interest rates being so low, everybody wanted to buy. Everybody that could buy could still buy.
Yeah.
Although unfortunately a lot of people did lose their jobs, their income, which I did see. A few of my first-time home buyers ended up not being able to buy because of it. The majority of people were still able to buy second homes even. We saw a big increase in that. But the amount of inventory is so low, the competition is so high. So we had a lot of buyers wanting the same homes over and over and over again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the interest was
Okay.
there. It was just a little bit of a fight,
Yeah. And when you were sitting down and having your consultations, were people not nervous? Even with, again, all of the economic uncertainty, were they experiencing any trepidation? Did they communicate any trepidation, or were they like, just find me the house, I'll sign on the dotted line?
Yeah, so a lot of those that weren't kind of anxious about that,
Yeah.
they knew that their job was solid, you
Nice,
know?
okay.
So at the, like, March, April, I was having a lot more consultations where people were nervous about that. But, you know, kind of later into the year, they figured if it hadn't happened yet,
Yeah.
that they were probably pretty solid. Yeah, so, you know, it was a concern on a lot of people's minds, but I think as the year went on, we kind of became a little bit more knowing of what our jobs look like.
I just noticed that you and I kind of have the same haircut right now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, I was talking with my my finance guy about what season 2 would look like, and there were a lot of decisions that he would not let me make because of COVID and where we are right now.
Right.
When you were consulting with anyone, did you have anyone who specifically asked you your opinion and what you thought, and if you thought this was a good time?
Always.
Yeah.
Every single consultation I have, we break it down so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's a matter of finding a realtor too that will invest in your life and not just what we're taking away, right? If we assess the whole situation, maybe it's not the best time for you to invest in buying your first home.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, you know, putting together an awesome show.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's what makes the most sense for you to invest in today. You know, a lot of people were thinking about that I talked to moving up,
Yeah.
buying a bigger home. But at the end of the day, did they need to do that? Or maybe they buy their first investment property this
Okay.
year.
Okay.
So it just depends on big picture, what makes the most sense to utilize your money for.
Right. And she's being really modest. I was going back and forth about, I'm relocating uptown and I wanted to buy a home, and then I had to get humble and realize I ain't got what I need to buy uptown. I can get uptown, I can't buy uptown. So I do appreciate the level of honesty and transparency that you provided me.
Absolutely.
Something that single women walk away with educated on, right? They had a lesser amount of education on one thing, and you walk them through you handhold them through the process of buying a home. What is one thing that you think they all go, aha, light bulb turns on?
That's a great question. So many things come to mind. I think the biggest thing for most is the difference between what we're paying in rent these days and what your mortgage can be. And a lot of the times, you're like, wait, my mortgage can be less than what I'm paying in rent, and I'm getting this much of a house, right? So I think especially as women, we try to allocate funds for certain things,
Yeah.
and there's some things that are non-negotiables, if
Yeah.
you will, but when it comes to rent, you don't want that to be just so astronomical like it has become.
It has. In which years, and you just, this was not a question I had, but do you know when rent went up so much? In the university area specifically, when I first moved down here, you could get like a 2-bedroom for maybe $900. You would be fortunate to find that.
Absolutely.
Around what year did that change?
It's funny you asked that because within the 3 years of being in real estate, I decided to also become a landlord at the same
Are
time.
you kidding me?
Nope. So I have 3 investment properties.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, so I can tell you exactly when it went up because I know when I had it go up. Really about 3 years ago
Okay.
is when we saw a major transition. As soon as that light rail went in, we saw
I could see that.
really about $200 increase a month, and then it's just gone
It's just
up from there.
skyrocketing, yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm a landlord, and I rent out 3 houses by the room,
Yeah.
just to give some people an opportunity more than anything to be able to afford their rent.
Yeah.
Because apartments in the university area, really Charlotte, everywhere as a whole, it's getting expensive,
It's
and I
slim
get that.
pickings.
Yeah, it really is. So
And university area was like the place that I came to when I first moved to Charlotte, so that really is the pinnacle of Charlotte in my mind. And I'm out in Concord now, and it's expensive to live in Concord, Annapolis. I mean, it's going up everywhere.
absolutely.
So where should you invest? Who invests more, men or women? And don't lie. Men or women?
I'm not gonna lie, because it's quite obvious, right?
Okay.
Women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Women, they actually invest by a landslide a lot
A
more than-
landslide.
Yeah, so let's look at it like this, right? As a matter of fact, according to a report from American Express, Women in Business Report, this is 2018 and 2019, women had opened over 1,800 new businesses per day.
Per day.
Per day. And that's 2018, 2019. 2020, the report hasn't came out yet, but
Yeah.
the trends are definitely there, right?
Yeah.
And then if we're talking about real estate, as we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
women own over 1.5 million more properties than men in the top 50 metros.
Would
Right.
you mind repeating that for me? Because I don't know that I heard you.
I got you.
Repeat that for me.
Women own over 1.5 million more properties than other single men in the top 50 metros in this country.
I guess what's shocking me about your information is that not even from a biblical place, but from just historically, the man is like supposed to be, so I don't know how a guy would be capable of taking care of a woman that's out investing in him. Do men consider that?
Not all men,
Yeah.
but those who, like, speak for myself.
Speak for you.
Speak for myself.
Speak for
right?
you.
I prefer to deal with somebody who doesn't necessarily need me, but wants me, right? It's a big difference. So once she has what she has, she don't need anybody. If she wants you, that's because she decided
She just
to
wants you.
she wants you. You know what I'm saying? So some people find that intimidating.
Mhm.
But if you're dealing with somebody who's on the same level, you guys can hold similar conversations because you're into the same thing, then
It sounds like what you're alluding to is that financial freedom means that you get to choose who the hell you want to date.
freedom.
Financial freedom. Are you more attracted to a fat portfolio or a fat booty?
Come on, it's clear. Gotta have a fat portfolio. Fat portfolio. It just goes back to what I was saying. Like the body is superficial,
Right.
right? It's superficial. So it's like if I can't hold a certain conversation with you, or you don't laugh at something that I say because it goes over your head too much, you're not for me. Or we're not for each other, rather.
We're not
How
for
about
each
that?
other. Okay. Has that always been the case? How old are you?
30.
30. Okay, so has that always been the case? When you were 25, would you have chosen a dunk over a portfolio?
It's funny that you said 25, right? My situation is different than a lot of people's, right? So at 25, I was gearing up to go to prison.
What?
Yeah, come on, put that curveball in there, you guys didn't even know.
What?
Yeah, I was gearing up for that. So 25 behind, it was all about the body.
Yeah.
Everything superficial.
Yeah.
But as I was in there, like I really took the time to meet with, it was federal. So I'm amongst people who are millionaires from all over the world. I wasn't watching Love and Hip Hop. I was amongst Pete, Sorrell, and all these people who are multi-millionaires learning about, investing in options,
You
stocks.
invested your time wisely.
I invested my time wisely. I had to do my time there, but that time was invested. That's why that's the first thing. That's the biggest piece of investment, time. Took that time, learned what I needed to learn. Some real estate gurus, learned Spanish fluently,
Yeah.
things like that, and it started to click to me like, listen, I can't deal with somebody who isn't either at the same level or trying to be past where I'm at.
Okay.
And knowing how strong, powerful, smart, and just how women are when it comes time to get the job done.
When it's time to get
It's
to
time
the bag.
It's time to get to the bag, chase the bag, and blow the budget. The women, they handle that, So,
When a woman is ready to get focused, there's really not anything that you can do to take her off of that. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Thank you for tuning in with me, Celeste Mose, Miss Media. Make sure you come back next week where the conversation will be cannabis, the artist muse. Until then, let me leave all you bad, beautiful women with this idea. I exercise the use of both my beauty and my brains. That is my superpower. Celeste Mose, Miss Media.